The NBA season is almost upon us, which means it is time to do the NBA standing predictions, and which means in today's video I will be doing all of that and explaining to you guys as to why I placed them here and there. But before we do all of that, let's hear that intro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another YouTube video for the What's Next on Basketball YouTube channel. I am your host, as always, Jeremy, and today, as you heard from the intro, we will be doing the NBA season predictions when it comes to the stand-ins. So, I've always done this every single year, like just for fun and with my friends. I started doing it when it was my second year fully watching basketball, which would have been the 21-22 season, or would have been, I'm right, the 21-22 season, and then I did the 22-23 season, and overall, I do a okay job at it. Obviously, my predictions are not very, very good. I usually get I want to say 6 to 8 teams accurate when it comes to their standings. And then just for fun, sometimes I'll do what will their wins be? What will their losses be? I didn't do it this time for this video just because I'm not going to do all that. There's no point because you don't know how many wins they're going to get, especially with there might be games that they lose that they should have won. There's games that they might win that they should have lost, So that's just more complicated. I just wanted to do the stand-ins from the first seed to the 15th seed. And I will say though, one of the years I was really proud of, let me see if I can find it now. No, I don't think it was that. Was it that one? No, I think it was the 20. Yeah, it was the 21-22 NBA season predictions that I did. And I got the Magic standards right and how many wins and losses they would get. Because like I said, I did it for fun. And I felt so proud of myself. I was like, man, I can't believe I just did that. So that was cool. But we're going to try it again. And this is the first time where you guys will actually be able to see what I put down. We'll see how accurate I can be. I don't know if we'll do something if I get a certain amount, maybe I'll do something. If you guys feel any ideas of what I should do for the certain amount that I get, if I get 2 right, I got to do this. If I get 10 right, I got to do this. We could probably think of some ideas in the comments down below. But enough of that. So, as mentioned before, this will be my NBA season predictions. Also, obviously, I guess let me mention the elephant in the room right now. Looking at this video, it's probably been 2 weeks since the last time I've uploaded. I just want to let you guys know that wasn't me just being super lazy and not trying to do any work. I actually was recovering from my wisdom teeth removal. So, obviously, since I took my wisdom teeth out, I wasn't allowed to talk, obviously. Even now, it's little bit difficult to speak, not too much where I'm it's just unbearable. Here and there I might be dang, I gotta stop talking. But I'm already at, I want to say, a week since the surgery, so at this point I'm doing a lot better. I'm going back to my normal eating routines. I can finally eat. It was so bad trying to eat the first 3 days, but I'm rambling on again, you guys already know. So let's just get into it. Let's see what my stand-ins will be. Also, just before I start, again, just to clarify, this is my predictions, okay? So if you guys have your own predictions as to where you think everyone will be placed, please let me know down in the comments. So don't try to text me oh, why did you put this team higher than this team? That doesn't make sense. Well, that's because I thought this team goes there, alright? If you have a different opinion, that's completely fine, and we can talk about it in the comments. Also, like I said, I'm rambling on, you guys already know how it is, but I just wanted to say I appreciate you guys. with the amount of support I've been getting in the last 2 videos. The top 100 got, I think, over 120 views, and the recent episode of the What's Next on Basketball podcast got, I think, almost 80. So really appreciate you guys. So if you can, please keep sharing that. Please do a lot. It really helps the channel grow. And yeah, so now let's actually get into it. We will start off with the Eastern Conference. Sorry guys, had a cough there. But we'll start off with the Eastern Conference. How I'll do it is I'll start with the 15th seed and then I'll make my way to the 1st seed. I'll try to explain as best as I can as to why I put them there. And yeah, that's basically it. So first off, we are doing the Eastern Conference. 15th, I have the Orlando Magic. And wait, let me make sure I got that correct. Yeah, the Orlando Magic. So I know this is probably going to come as a shock. Wait, hold on. Wait a second here. Something doesn't seem right about this list. Oh, I'm a dummy. I apologize, guys. That was my last year's list. My bad. Like I said, I'm a big professional. You know, I was just testing you guys, making sure that you knew I was telling the right thing. But I was about to say, I was like, I could have sworn I put the Magic a little bit higher than that. So anyway, sorry about that. The actual, that was just a prank. You know, cameras everywhere, guys. That was a prank. So actually, the actual 15th seed is the Detroit Pistons. So it was, I'm not going to lie, it was actually kind of difficult ranking the bottom 5 teams when it came to the Eastern Conference, because obviously the top 6 are pretty easy to figure out. Play-in is a little difficult because there's like 1 or 2 teams that I could see make the play-in, but there's a chance that they also could not. So it just seems like the play-in for the Eastern Conference this year is definitely going to be a battle. But unfortunately, I just feel like out of all the teams, the Pistons are going to be the worst. I don't really know what the team's doing overall. Of course, I know Cade Cunningham was injured last season for a majority, I believe. So that was the reason why they didn't do too well. I'm sure there's a chance they'll do way better than I predicted them to, but I just feel like they have honestly just the worst team out of everyone in the Eastern Conference, so that's why I put them down there. 14th, I have the Charlotte Hornets. I have them a little bit above the Pistons because with LaMelo Ball and what was his name? Brandon Miller? I think it's Brandon Miller. Let me check here for you guys. It is roster here. Yes, Brandon Miller. With drafting Brandon Miller, that obviously is going to help them a lot. And they got some other like good players around there. Of course, I don't think they're going to be like an amazing team, which is why I have them 14th. But again, I think they'll do a little bit better than the Pistons. It's just, unfortunately, I think this is going to be another lottery year for them. The team, obviously overall, besides LaMelo Ball, just does not look good. And I don't think they'll make a play-in spot. If they do, then hey, kudos to them. But I don't see that. 13th is the Raptors. With losing Fred VanVleet, and I think they brought in Dennis Schroeder. They still have Pascal Siakam. They have Scotty Barnes. They're a team that I wouldn't be surprised if they prove me wrong and get a play-in spot. Again, it's just one of those situations where I felt like there was other teams just better than them when it came to the roster, where I felt like they could take that spot over them. It's nothing against them where I'm like, oh, the team's really trash. It's just unfortunate because there's other teams that I think could shock us, or I think it's just better than the Raptors. So, sorry Raptors fans, but I got you 13th. 12th is the Wizards, the Washington Wizards. Yeah, I know, that's kind of a shock, especially after this past offseason when they just lost Bradley Beal. So why on earth would I have them 12th and not something like the 14th or 15th seed? Well, it's actually pretty simple, and it's because of the players they do have. They have Kyle Kuzma, they have Jordan Poole, and I feel like that team, not that team, those players could easily help them get a good amount of wins. Again, I don't think it'll be enough to get a play-in spot, but at least I think it could get them like an 11th or 12th seed spot. So I decided to go with 12th. And there's, again, besides like Poole and Kuzma. Let me check the roster here. There's not really any other players that I can think of where I'm like, oh yeah, they could definitely help them get like a play-in spot or help them out. Let's see here. Oh, maybe Taj Gibson can be the savior for them. I do like Corey Kispert, but that's pretty much it when it comes to this roster. So yeah, I think they're gonna be, what did I say, 12th? Yeah, I think they're gonna be 12th. Not much to say about them. Now, 11th. This is the last team of the bottom 5 that I think will not make the play-in this year, and that is the Orlando Magic. Now, before you Magic fans go down in the comments and ask me why on earth I think that they won't make the play-in, I will have to, I am lying a bit when I say that I think they won't make it. I do think the Magic have a chance, but it's because of this next team as to why I put them 11th. Because the Magic and the next team, I feel like, are both pretty even when it comes to their player skills and just how the team looks overall. The Magic obviously have a lot of really, really good young guys. You got Paulo, you got Cole Anthony, they got Wendell Carter Jr., I think still. Let me check here. Yeah, they got Wendell Carter Jr., they just drafted Anthony Black, they have Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, they have Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner. They have some really good young guys that I think are definitely going to shine a lot more this year. They did pretty well last year. Let me see the spot that they landed. They landed with they were 13th last season. So yeah, with them having young guys and them just improving more and more, I could definitely see them get the 11th seed or even the 10th seed. I would not push them to the side and think, oh, they're not going to get any play-in spot. They could definitely be a team that shocks everybody and gets a play-in spot. But the reason why I didn't put them is because of this next team, which is now number 10, the Chicago Bulls. Yep, I think the Chicago Bulls are going to get the 10th seed. Now, I know last season they had the 9th seed, so I feel like that's not too hard to predict and say that they'll get the 10th seed. Well, technically, the Bulls did have the 10th seed, but since they won that, that play-in match, ESPN puts them higher as the 9th seed because that is technically where they ended since they lost the matches, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they had the 10th seed last season, so I still think they're going to get the 10th seed. The thing about the Chicago Bulls when it came to this offseason is they really didn't do much to improve the team. They just brought everybody back, or mostly everybody back from last season, and just kind of said, who cares? They for some reason they feel like this team can do it, which I don't know why. Clearly this team is not built to be a championship team, not even a playoff team. So since they didn't really make any changes and they don't look like they've improved at all, they're going back to 10th. So yeah, sorry Bulls fans, sorry Kenny, but your team just does not look appealing this coming into this season. 9th, we have the Atlanta Hawks. Again, another team that was a play-in team last season, and I think will still be a play-in team. Just because one of the reasons, again, being that there's just other teams I feel like are better than them. There's no way with the Hawks lineup right now being Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, they got that Kobe Buffkin guy that they drafted, so he might actually be really good. They have Sadiq Bey, Clint Capella, DeAndre Hunter, AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okonwu. They were able to get rid of John Collins, which has been a huge just toll on them. So finally they were able to trade him. I think they've been trying to trade him for like 2 or 3 years now. So it's good they were able to do that. But again, they're basically like the Chicago Bulls when it came to them not really improving. Again, Trae and Murray are really, really good players, but I don't think they're enough to carry this team. Trae Young has shown before that he could. I mean, he did push the Celtics to a 6-game series, which was interesting to see. And I think Murray was injured, if I'm correct on that. So who knows? Maybe they could shock us and they can actually lead a team. But until then, until they prove that to me, I'm going to say they're a 9th seed. Next is the Indiana Pacers. Now, this one might be a shock to you all because the Indiana Pacers ended up finishing 11th in the last year's standings. So it's kind of, some of you might be shocked as to why I bumped them up so high. And it's just because of how the roster looks. I do think the roster is definitely a play-in type team. They were able to sign Bruce Brown, which I think was, for me personally, probably top 3 when it came to like some of the shocking signings of this past free agency. I did not expect the Pacers to try to get him. So it was cool that Bruce Brown got the bag and now he's on the team. I think he's with them for 2 years. It's like 2 or 3 years he's with them. They also have Tyrese Halliburton, who has just been phenomenal. Great player. I'm so happy with how he's been improving. It sucks that he wasn't able to be with the Kings and, see the success that the Kings did. But then again, I feel like they got a lot of that success because of Domantas Sabonis. So, without the Tyrese trade, the Kings might have still been bad. So, I guess, to play devil's advocate. But it's cool that Tyrese is doing incredible with the Indiana Pacers. You also have players like TJ McConnell that I really like, Benedict Mathurin. You have Jalen Smith, which I feel like he could still be something. He didn't really get to do much with the Suns, but I feel like now that he's on the Indiana Pacers, he might be able to do some stuff. They have Miles Turner, which I don't really know what they're doing with Miles, because I heard for a good couple years they've been trying to trade Miles, but maybe with how the team's getting built now, they might try to push that back and say, actually, no, we're not going to trade him. They also got Jarris Walker in the draft, which was really cool. They got Ben Shepherd. They got Isaiah Wong. So that'll be cool to see those young guys play, because there's no way they're not playing. Placers. The Pacers, with how their team is built as well, there's no way that they can't get some minutes. So who knows? I feel like that will probably be the team for me. Like, looking at my list here when it comes to the Eastern Conference, I think that's my wild card team when it comes to like them shocking everybody. I think they could make a play-in spot, like a guaranteed play-in spot. I feel like with the teams under that I have, the Hawks, the Bulls, Magic, Wizards, Raptors, Hornets, Pistons, none of those teams I feel like can. Maybe the Hawks could, but I don't think any of the other teams can stop the Pacers from getting a play-in spot. I think this will be the year when we really see the Pacers and we get to see their young guys and exactly how they would play in a quote-unquote playoff environment. But yeah, that's all I have to say. So I'm definitely going to be rooting for them, especially now that they have Obi Toppin. I'm still sad that the Knicks, don't have him anymore. Again, it made sense because there was no way Obi Toppin was going to get enough minutes, especially with Julius Randle on the team. So, it sucks, but I hope him being on a new team will really help him shine and show everybody the incredible player he is. And yeah, that's all I got to say about the Pacers. Next is the Brooklyn Nets. I think they are going to get the 7th seed. And yeah, as we all know, the Brooklyn Nets got the 6th seed last season, which, to be fair, most of it was because of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. But with that being said, I do still think that this team can be up there. Maybe they can get the 6th seed again, because the teams I have, I won't say the teams yet, but the team I have in the 6th seed and like the 5th seed, I feel like the Nets could take it over them if they play really, really well with each other. If we look at the lineup here, we have Mikal Bridges, Nick Claxton, Noah Clowney, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cameron Johnson. They have Ben Simmons, if you want to count him. They have Cam Thomas, Lonnie Walker. Is that the 4th? I think it's the 4th. Derek Whitehead, Jalen Molson. They they have a team again that we might go back to that era. If you guys remember that era with the Brooklyn Nets, where like it was just a bunch of guys that weren't really like the best, like they weren't superstars, but they were just a really fun team to watch in the playoffs. I think D'Angelo was on that team. Same with Spencer. I'm pretty sure Spencer was on the team. But you know, if you guys remember that era, that year, when they were just fun to watch, I think we're gonna see that again with the Brooklyn Nets. Again, when it comes to me as a Knicks fan, I think this is great that the Nets are just doing bad. It's so funny to me how, 2 years ago, we were all saying that the Nets are going to become this crazy super team. They're going to win at least like 2 chips. And now it's like, oh, they lost James Harden. They lost Kevin Durant. They lost Kyrie Irving. It just disappointing. And the crazy thing is, this is the second time that the Nets tried to build a super team and it didn't work out. So I really, really hope that the Nets just realize, okay, we're not going to get some crazy superstars, trade everything just to make a super team. Let's just see what we have and work from there. Because Mikal Bridges is becoming definitely an all-star. He could be a superstar. Spencer, you already know Spencer's good. Dorian Finney-Smith's really good. Cameron Johnson's good. Ben Simmons, I mean, he is still like 27. He's in his late 20s now. He still has a chance at redeeming himself, so maybe they can try to help him out there. Cam Thomas showed some really good spotlights last season, so maybe they'll try to see what they have with him. Lonnie Walker, if you guys saw him with the Lakers, you guys know that he's really good. I really like Lonnie Walker. I think he's a great player. But yeah, I think they're going to get the 7th seed. Next up is now the 6th seed. We are now in the guaranteed playoff teams. These top 6, the ones that I'm going to mention, are the teams that I feel like for sure will make the playoffs. Which goes to number 6, and that is the Miami Heat. Yes, I think the Miami Heat will get the 6th seed. Even though they lost Gabe Vincent, they lost Max Strus, which I feel like were 2 very key players when it came to their team being very good. I still think they'll do well. Obviously, there's a chance they could do even better if they're able to get that Dame trade. But again, with how it's looking with that trade, I don't know if it's going to happen. And if it does happen, we're still not going to see it till way, way later. I predicted that we might not see it till like right before the season starts. But again, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Maybe it will happen during the trade deadline, but it's not happening right now. So because of that, I think they'll get the 6th seed, because I think Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, they can definitely pull this team to a 6th seed, especially Jimmy Butler. If he actually like tries really hard this year, I think he could do it. And let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, even looking at the roster, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a play-in spot again, just because it's just not a good roster. Like, you have people like Thomas Bryant, you have Udonis Haslem, who's 43 at this point. Like, he's not going to be doing much. Kyle Lowry, which I feel like he's really fell off. He's not that good, personally. Josh Richardson. I mean, Duncan Robinson showed some pretty good spotlights in the playoffs from what I remember. But again, I feel like he's another one of those, like, he's either really good or really bad. There's no in between. They got Orlando Robinson from the draft. Maybe, and he's a center, so maybe he can help. But other than that, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if... Who did I have 7th? Let me see here. That's why I said I wouldn't be shocked if the Nets can take that spot. I think the Nets do have a chance of stealing the 6th seed from the Heat and, you know, giving themselves another year where they're guaranteed in the playoffs. Do I think they'll win? I don't think so, but this will be nice for the Nets. Now we're moving on to the 5th seed. The 5th seed is... Oh, sorry, I just had to make sure I was still recording there. But the 5th seed will be the 76ers. Yeah, this might be a really shocking one, but I have the 76ers going all the way down to 5th. as we all know, they got the 3rd seed last season, and with, they're coming into the season with the reigning MVP, and that's basically it. So I know Joel Embiid will most likely not let them just get the 5th seed, but again, I don't know, because I don't think he'll be able to get the help in order for that not to happen. Because as we all know, there's a huge problem with James Harden and what's his name, Daryl Morey, the one guy that him and James used to be best buds, and now they're not best buds, to put it lightly. So I don't even know if James Harden's gonna even play for the 76ers. It's just not looking good for them. So since there's so much drama going on, I put that into perspective with teams where it's like, if they're having problems inside the group, that's really going to affect the team and their gameplay and just them playing overall. So yeah, I put them down to the 5th seed. Next is the 4th seed, and I'm giving this to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks got the 5th season last year, so this isn't too far-fetched of them just going up one more seed. And this just goes down to me feeling like all the teams that are under them, I don't think can stop them when it comes to them being a guaranteed. I don't know if they get the 4th seed, but I guarantee you the Knicks will get a top 6 seed. They will get a guaranteed spot in the playoffs because they're just looking great. Because, it's my team. Maybe you could say it's me being biased, but let me explain to you why I don't see this as far-fetched. They have Jalen Brunson. They have Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Emmanuel Quickley. They have Josh Hart, Quentin Grimes, Dante DiVincenzo. They have RJ Barrett, Isaiah Hartenstein, Miles McBride. They have Jericho Sims. I really wish Jericho Sims got more minutes. I really, really do believe what I said when it came to Jericho Sims, and that he can be an all-star if they give him the opportunity to play. But again, this is, especially with Jalen Brunson on the team and with how well they played last season, there's no way you can't tell me that the Knicks can make it there. I even think the Knicks have a chance of making the conference finals. But again, that's just me maybe being a little crazy. I don't think they'll make the NBA finals. I'm not going to go that far. But why can't they make the conference finals? Who was that guy? Actually, let me check. ESPN might have it here. Zach Lowe. Zach Lowe was talking about it and saying, why can't the Knicks make the conference finals? What would be stopping them? And I agree with him. I think the Knicks do have a good chance this year in shocking everybody and making the conference. I mean, they made the 1st round. They made the 2nd round. What's stopping them from making the conference finals? Again, we faced a Miami Heat team that was just really, really hot that season. And with having someone like Julius Randle hurt and just the team not playing that well overall, I'm hoping, maybe this year they'll try to, bounce back and do good. Again, maybe we can't go that far yet, but I at least will say that I have the Knicks going 4th. And I wish I could have put them higher, me being a Knicks fan, but that's because I didn't, because there's 3 teams that I for sure think will be top 3. These 3 teams, looking at them, there is no team, including the Knicks, there's no team I feel like that's going to take these spots away from them. 3, the 3rd seed, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers had the 4th seed last season, and I don't see why they can't get 3rd. They have a really, really good roster right now with Donovan Mitchell, Jarrett Allen, Imani Bates, Sharif Cooper. They have Karis LeVert, Evan Mobley, Isaiah Mobley. They have Max Strus that they took from the Miami Heat, Isaac Okoro. They have a really, really good team, especially when it comes to the starters and the bench players. And that was a problem for them last season, is they didn't have good bench players. So they started signing people and getting good players for their bench, which I think was great for them. And again, I have the Cavs as, I think I already said it before in a previous video, I do have them as a championship contenders. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cleveland Cavaliers would be a team that we hear as potential champions. And yeah, I just think the team's great overall. I think that's enough said there. Next is the second seed, and I have the Milwaukee Bucks. It might come as a shock for people because for the past like 2 or 3 seasons, the Milwaukee Bucks have just been getting the first seed. Like last season, they got the first seed. Oh no, they didn't get in the 21-22 season. They actually got the third seed. What about the 2021 season? Let's see. Well, I will say this. For the past couple years, they have at least been getting a top 3 seed. Since the 2018-2019 season, they usually get top 3 in seeds, which is why I feel like no one's shocked about them being on here again. And I was thinking about putting them first. I really had them first for a little bit, but I was like, nah. I feel like age is gonna get to them a little bit, so they're gonna do a little bit worse than we would have thought they were gonna do. And there is a little bit of tension in the organization because with Giannis's comments about staying with the team, I'm sure that's stressing a lot of people out. I'm sure that's stressing Giannis out, and it sucks because you don't want that kind of mindset in the locker room. But again, it's just something you have to face. So I'm sure that's going to be something that gets to them throughout the season. Mainly, like Giannis and the front office. And I don't know. I just feel like they're not going to get the first seed because of this next team. And I'm sure you guys all know who I'm about to say. It's the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics were able to sign Kristaps Porzingis. But not sign. I think they traded him. Did they trade him? No, I don't think they traded him. I think they signed him. Could be wrong. But anyway, they acquired Kristaps Porzingis in the free agency that just happened. And this obviously set a bunch of people by storm. Everyone immediately calling them championship favorites. And, I mean, I can't blame them. The team now has Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Robert Williams. They have Malcolm Brogdon, who just won Sixth Man of the Year. They have, their bench players are okay, but, they're good for the team. And now they have Kristaps Porzingis, which, if we look at the lineup here when it comes to their starting five, potentially, we could be seeing Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, and either Al Horford or Robert Williams. I feel like they're going to put Robert Williams. I don't know why ESPN says that Al Horford will take that spot. So that would be a crazy lineup to have. Oh, hold on, guys. I got to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I keep sneezing, but yeah. I just think the team's great overall. Like, the only team I feel like that will really take the first seed away from them is the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's kind of like a coin flip between these two. It's either the Bucks are going to get first or the Celtics. I don't think the Cavs are going to be good enough to get the first seed. Of course, they could prove me wrong and just do way better than I expected them to. But again, that's where I ended off. So just to do a quick recap, because like I said, that was the first seed. So to do a quick recap for the Eastern Conference, 15th, we have the Pistons. 14th, we have the Hornets. 13th, we have the Raptors. 12th, we have the Wizards. 11th, we have the Magic. 10th, we have the Bulls. 9th, we have the Hawks. 8th, we have the Pacers. 7th, we have the Nets. 6th, Heat. 5th, 76ers. 4th, Knicks. 3rd, Cavs. 2nd, Bucks. And 1st is the Celtics. Now, it's time to move on to the Western Conference. Alright, we're 33 minutes in. This is going to be a long video, I can see, when it comes to editing. That will be fun. Let's move on to the Western Conference now. Yay! This is going to be awesome. We'll get through this a little bit more quickly, since I was kind of slow with the East, I see. But 15th is the Houston Rockets. I don't feel like much has to be said about this. I don't think they're going to get better. They did get some nice guys in the draft, like Cam Whitmore? Was that his name? Let me make sure. Yeah, Cam Whitmore, which I still can't believe he went down that low. That's so crazy to me. They have Cam Whitmore. They have Fred VanVleet. Which, again, they could shock me because they have Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks on the team, which they could easily bring this team up there, maybe even a play-in spot. But the reason why I put them so low is because overall, the Western Conference was really hard to predict when it came to their standings. I feel like the Western Conference is really, really stacked. Each team, I feel like, has guys that are really good, and they could just go anywhere. But unfortunately, the Rockets were the team that I chose that had to, unfortunately, be the 15th seed. Next is the San Antonio Spurs. I put them 14th because I feel like Victor Wembanyama is going to give them a good amount of wins, but not enough where I feel like they'll get like a play-in spot. And yeah, Victor is just really the only big attraction for them, so I don't really think they're going to go crazy. 13th is the Utah Jazz. This, again, is just another team where they didn't really do any crazy changes. I mean, they got John Collins, so that was nice to see. But other than that, it's just the same team, and I just think there's better teams than them that will just do better. Enough said. 12th is the Trailblazers. This was more of like if Dame does leave, I think the Trailblazers will get 12th. With him, I feel like Dame's not going to try that hard. Like, honestly, I just don't think he'll try hard. So, again, and then, of course, I just think there's better teams. 11th is the Mavericks, which I know is bad for the Mavericks if this does happen because you're already having problems with Luka and trying to keep him. I made the prediction that he might want to leave. So, when I said it, I believe by next offseason is when Luka will be like, all right, I'm out of here. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Again, another team that didn't really do crazy improvements besides bringing back Kyrie Irving, but that still doesn't solve their problem when it comes to their defense. If anything, I feel like their defense went down a bit, or even more than that. And yeah, I don't think they're going to do good. Now, we're entering the play-in teams. 10th, I think, is going to be the Pelicans. Pelicans were able to make the play-in last season. I think they're going to make it again. They might go a little bit higher if Zion ends up playing, because I feel like that team will do really, really good if they have Zion on there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for them. 9th is the Timberwolves. Timberwolves is just great to watch when it comes to Anthony Edwards. I love watching that team. And I'm going to definitely be watching them again. What's the best way to explain why I put them here? I think it's just, again, same reasoning. Teams I think that are better. I do think they'll be good enough to make a play-in spot. They could get something like the 7th seed, maybe the 6th seed, but I don't think the team's good enough to get like a guaranteed playoff spot. But there's no doubt in my mind that they will get a play-in. Anthony Edwards has just been incredible. Please just keep improving him. Make sure he does good. Get guys around him that will help him shine. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. 8th is the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is another up-and-coming team that's just really young and has a lot of talented players. I do think they're going to do great. I wouldn't be shocked if they get a 6th seed, but, I don't want to go too crazy, so I decided to put them 8th. It's awesome seeing Shea. It's awesome seeing Josh Giddey. We're going to get to see Chet Holmgren. Is it Holmgren or Holmgren? Holmgren. Yeah, that's how you say it. I think that's how you say it. It's going to be awesome seeing Chet. It's going to be cool seeing Dort. Both the Jalen Williams guys. Mainly the better Jalen Williams. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I don't really have much to say about the Thunder. 7th is Clippers. I put them there because Clippers suck. LOL. I don't think they'll get a guaranteed playoff spot. I don't care that they made a new rule where they're not allowed, to like bench their players at the same time. Some like crazy rule that I thought was good for the league, but I was just like, it's whatever. Yeah, I just don't like the Clippers. I think they're trash. Next is the Warriors. The Warriors, unfortunately, I put them 6th, which I know they got the 6th seed last season, so it's not like super far off where I'm like, oh my god, this is a horrible decision. But again, it just goes down to, I think there's teams better than them. Curry and all of them, they're getting older now. I'm sure they have one more, run in them to go and try again another chip. But it's just I don't think they're good enough to get a top 5 seed. Next is the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, I know the Grizzlies had the 2nd seed last season, so obviously I put them down here just because since Ja Morant's gonna miss 24, 25 games this season, like in the beginning, I feel like that's gonna be a huge hit on them. Not having Ja Morant's gonna really crush them. Of course, they have Marcus Smart, which might be able to help, heal that wound. But they're also another team that I feel like is dealing with problems in their roster and just, in their organization. It's probably not a good look when your superstar player is just out here doing things he just shouldn't be doing. Again, they have people like Jaren Jackson Jr., which, if I'm correct, I think he's the reigning defensive player of the year, so he's good to have. You have Desmond Bane, who's really good, Steven Adams, Brandon Clark. You have, again, like I said, Marcus Smart. They got Derrick Rose that could definitely help the young guys. Zaire Williams. They have good teams around them. It's just I don't think this is a team that's getting a 2nd seed at all. Because there's definitely other teams here that are way better than them and can get that spot. Now, 4th, this one might be shocking to everyone just because with what they did this offseason, you would think that this team should be like at least top 2. But I'm not really believing the hype. I don't think they're going to get a top 2 seed. Just because I still feel like there's some cracks in that team that's going to end up showing in the regular season, and that's the Phoenix Suns. They were able to get Bradley Beal, which was an incredible pickup for them, and they obviously realized, oh shoot, we need a really good bench because we don't have any more bench players, and that's what they went to go do. So now their bench is looking pretty good, and they were able to trade for Kevin Durant last season, and of course they didn't do very well because no team has ever done well when they get a superstar player in the middle of the season traded to them. And yeah, that's really it. I think they'll do good, but not good enough to get a top 3 seed. 3rd is the Lakers. I said the reason why I put them here is because I had already called it and put it out there that I think the Lakers will get a top 3 seed. I don't think they'll get higher than 3, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. 2nd is the Kings. The Sacramento Kings really shocked everybody by just doing incredible last season. They were able to go to their first playoffs in over what was it, like 27 years or something like that. So they clearly found a team that's really good, that they can build around. We finally got to see De'Aaron Fox shine. We got to see Sabonis shine. They're just a really good team. And I think they're going to keep that momentum going into the new season. So yeah, I got them 2nd. And now, in 1st, for the Western Conference, it's gonna be no shock to anybody, but I have the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are the reigning NBA champions, so I feel like, of course, I have to put them as the 1st seed. I don't see any other reason why not to. They're an amazing team, and they show that it's gonna be really hard to take them down. They're just great. A great team. Jokic and Jamal leading that team. I feel like losing Bruce Brown will definitely hurt them a bit, but I'm sure they're going to be able to find a guy that's basically like a Bruce Brown type player that will be able to help them. And yeah, I think that's really it. Like I just don't feel like I really need to explain that. The Denver Nuggets are just really good, and I do believe they'll get the 1st seed. And with that, that's gonna be my list. Just to do a quick recap for the Western Conference, 15th is the Rockets, 14th is the Spurs, 13th is Jazz, 12th is the Trailblazers, 11th is the Mavericks, 10th is the Pelicans, 9th is the Timberwolves, 8th is the Oklahoma City Thunder, 7th is the Clippers, 6th is Warriors, 5th is the Grizzlies, 4th is the Suns, 3rd is the Lakers, 2nd is the Kings, and 1st is the Nuggets. So yeah, that's the Western Conference. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to make this video because I know it's been a minute, and I had this actually like sitting for 2 weeks. And like I said, I was ready to make this video, but with the wisdom teeth situation, I just couldn't upload, which really, really sucked. As for the podcast, again, I just haven't made any episodes because there hasn't been really any crazy news. I might make an episode talking about that new rule that the NBA did and just how I feel about it. And I'm thinking of a schedule to do for the regular season. I don't know if I'll do an episode every day after the games. I have a plan. My plan is going to be where, you know what, I'm not even going to say the plan. You guys will see it, but I think I'm going to try to do it like 2 or 3 times a week for the podcast, just to get it out there and get you guys, updated and all that stuff. And then I'm also going to put a lot more focus into the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel has been getting a lot more success than the podcast. Of course, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop the podcast. I'm still going to do the podcast. I love doing the podcast. I even consider these kind of videos as, oh my goodness, keep hiccuping and burping. I even consider these kind of videos as like podcasts because of how long I talk. Like you guys are going to see here, this video is going to be about 50 minutes long, almost 50 minutes. And that's kind of crazy. But obviously you guys enjoy these videos and you clearly like them, and you like when I talk about just random things. And again, if you ever have ideas on like videos I should do that you're like, oh, this would be perfect for you to do, or I would love to see you talk about this and see your opinion on it, please let me know. I am open for any kind of ideas. And yeah, I just love talking about basketball, so I'll even do the research if I have to. And that's gonna be the end of the video. So thank you guys for listening. Of course, make sure to follow my socials, make sure to follow my Spotify podcast, make sure to follow me on Instagram. Obviously subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new here and you enjoyed the video. Make sure to share with anybody you know. It could be your grandma, and I would not care. Just show everybody. We're trying to grow this. Obviously the first goal, like any other YouTube channel, is to get to 100, and then we'll move our way from there, And yeah, until next time, guys.